4C Visions. I'm your host, R.V. Height, Director of Communications at Central Carolina Community College. In this edition of 4C Visions, it is my pleasure to welcome Denise Martin, Dean of CCCC Health Science and Human Services, and Consuela Blaizes, who is CCCC Associate Dean of Health Sciences and Human Services. Well, Denise and Consuela, welcome to 4C Visions.
Thank you.
Hi, RV. Thanks for having us today.
Well, it's so good to see both of you. Please share with our audience some information about how you both got started in the healthcare field.
Well, Dr. Blaizes, would you like to go first?
Okay, sure. So I got started in the healthcare field because I took health occupations way back in high school, and it helped me to gain my nursing assistance certification, which we will talk about today. And then I decided I wanted to be a nurse because my health occupations instructor actually was a big inspiration to me. So I went to nursing school, became a nurse. I've been a nurse for 23 years now. And after I decided I think I'd been a nurse about 10 years, went back to school. Anyway, just kept climbing until I finally got my doctorate degree. So that's how I got in the medical field, from health occupations instructor.
How about you, Denise?
So for me, my journey was a little bit different. Right out of high school, I went to work. I didn't go to college right away, and I decided to work. And I started, my first medical job was working as a temp, answering phones at a busy medical practice. And so that was my first job in healthcare and kind of exposure to the healthcare environment. From working at the front desk, I eventually moved up into the billing department and then into the coding department. And I found that I really loved medical coding. And I worked as a medical coder for almost 20 years in the industry. About 10 years into my career, even though I was a certified coder and I was making good money, without a degree, I was not able to get promoted into a leadership role, which is the direction I wanted to go with my career. So I went back to school when I was 38 years old. And started earning my degree. I have an associate's degree in health information technology, and then I have a bachelor's degree in health information management. And I have several coding credentials, which help me. And so as my career in healthcare, I worked primarily in doctor's offices and hospitals doing medical coding. And then I was asked to join the advisory board here at the college. And that's how I switched careers from working in the healthcare field to working here at the college. As I started by being an advisory board member for our health information technology program. And then I ended up applying for a job, and I've loved every day working here at Central Carolina. And I'm very excited to have a new career in academia. I did like working in healthcare, and there's some days that I miss it, but I really love what I can do now, and being able to support the amazing faculty that we have in all of our programs in our division.
Well, we're certainly excited to have both of you here at Central Carolina Community College. Well, let's talk about some of CCCC's most popular and recognizable healthcare programs. And let's start off with our veterinary medical technology program.
So our veterinary medical technology, what we like to call vet med, our vet med is one of our most popular programs. The one thing that makes our campus unique to many programs in our state and across the nation is that we have animals that live on site. So we currently have colony animals that live with us year round. We have cats and dogs. And then based on the semester, we have other animals that come in, such as rats and rabbits and reptiles and birds. We also have a large animal facility where our students get to work with large animals like cows and horses as well. And that we have a brand new facility being built on our main campus with the barn and lab facilities for our large animal program. But that's one thing that sets us apart, is that the animals live on campus, and part of the students learning their education is they get kennel duty and barn duty where they care for the animals. So not only do they get to interact with the animals in their lab classes, but they also get to care for them on what is like a real world setting when you're caring for animals that are in a colony, or here in the large animal facility, they'll be in the pasture. But the students get not only classroom experience, but more real life experience interacting with our animals as well.
And I'm sure the job opportunities are great in the vet med field.
Yes, absolutely. It's a growing field. There's a lot of need for registered veterinary technicians, which is the credential that the students can earn. It's a great opportunity for advancement. Students can specialize if they want to specialize with a particular species of animal or a type of service. There's a lot of things to do with a degree in vet med.
Outstanding. Well, then there's our Louise L. Tuller School of Nursing, another of our popular programs. What makes that program so popular?
Okay, so first of all, what makes the program so popular is I'm here. And so, but with that, I think one of the biggest draws that we have is in our PN program, which is practical nursing. And we offer a day and evening program in that cohort because that's not offered a lot in this area. And so students are often looking to do something outside of that. And then with that, we have a LPN to ADN bridge. And again, there's not many bridge programs around. So they can take that bridge and go into our ADN program, which is located at our Lee campus. Our PN program is located in Harnett at the Harnett Health Science Center. And so another thing that makes it popular is we're kind of centrally located in Lee. And so we have a lot of different surrounding areas that are within a 30-minute drive or so. We have a lot of transient population, if you want to call them transient, with Fort Bragg being right next door to Sanford. And so we gain a lot of the military spouses that can come to Central Carolina and take classes towards nursing and or complete their degree while they're here. Because as you know, military families don't often stay in places very long. So both of our programs enable those families to be able to complete versus going to a university that may take them a little bit longer.
And about how many students do you have in our nursing programs?
Okay.
On an average.
Okay. On average, so each fall, our practical nursing program admits a maximum of 60 students. And so each fall they will admit a group of 60. For our ADN program, we can have a max of 80, and those 80 students are spread out between the first and second year and the transition program. So admission for the fall for first year may vary depending upon how many students are retained in second and transition. But it's a total of 80 and 60.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another of our popular programs are the dental hygiene and dental assisting programs, which are filled to capacity each year. In fact, our dental programs have both been ranked highly among the best in the state. Tell us about those programs.
You're right, RV. Our dental programs are very, very popular and they're very competitive to get into. We have some of the most phenomenal faculty that work in our dental programs. They are just very compassionate and caring. And what sets our program apart from some of our other programs here on campus is that we actually have a clinic in which we provide free dental care to our community, and community members can come, but that gives our students a very unique opportunity to serve our local community while they're learning. So they get to talk to patients and interact with patients under the guidance of their supervisors. And we have dentists that are also on staff. And so the students get to have real life practice in a school setting. So that way they have the one-on-one interactions with their faculty and with our dentists on staff. And then our community members can come for dental cleanings and dental consultations, and also to get referrals for advanced dental care if that's what they need. And our students then also rotate into clinical practices in our community. So not only do they learn here at our campus, they also learn out in the community in different sites. And recently we've moved to a new building. The dental program moved to the Keller Health Science building in the Lee main campus. And we also have increased the size. So we can now take 16 students every year. So because of the move, we were able to expand to take more students. So unfortunately, our numbers are small because of the way that we work one-on-one with our students. And we can only take 16 each year into the new cohorts in dental assisting and in dental hygiene. But those 16 students are amazing, and they get some of the best educational opportunities because of the small class size and how they are able to interact with our community.
Outstanding. Well, another of our healthcare programs that we offer at CCCC, both at our Lee and at our Chatham campuses, or Chatham Health Science Center, is a program called Health and Fitness Science. What is that program all about?
Okay, so when I think of health and fitness science, our programs to me promote health promotion and health and fitness. And so our programs at Central Carolina, we have a diploma program, we have certificate programs, so it can be anywhere from 2 semesters up to 5 semesters, which will result into an associate in applied science degree. With those degrees, the students can be personal trainers, they can be health and fitness instructors, they can work in clinics. They learn how to do things like sport taping. They also create programs, and in those programs, they work with fellow students and students on campus and community before COVID. And so people were able to come in and do exercises and stuff in the gym, and they work very closely with them to give them like a fitness plan. And so I think that's a great program, especially now with COVID. More and more people are needing some kind of outlet for health and fitness. And so that program has really grown because, as you said, it is also at the Chatham Health Science Center and at the Lee main campus.
Great.
And I just wanted to add real quick that last year, when COVID happened, I was actually working with a student. They were doing a class for personal training. And so I signed up to have a student as my personal trainer. And even though we had to transition to COVID, I still worked out with my student trainer twice a week in my garage. And he had a whole fitness plan for me. And we would talk, we would be live through technology, but he would talk me through my exercises and watch to make sure I was doing it correctly. And I really enjoyed it. And that was a really good outlet, again, during COVID when I was feeling isolated because we were working from home and I wasn't able to connect with my colleagues and students like I normally do. Just having that experience of doing personal training virtually with a student was phenomenal.
Well, outstanding. Another program that has gained a lot of popular traction is medical assisting. What do students learn in that program?
So our medical assisting program is quite unique because a lot of people know about nurses and they don't always know what a medical assistant does. And a medical assistant is very similar to a nurse in that they work with the providers in providers' offices. So medical assistants primarily work in physician offices, not in hospitals, but they function a lot like a nurse in that they can help take care of patient care, taking vital signs, giving immunizations, counseling, doing patient counseling and education. So they work very closely with the providers to provide health care for patients and to make sure that they have what they need. Our medical assisting program is good because we have 2 different versions. You can get a diploma in 1 year, so you can get to work very quickly, and you can also take a 2-year program and get an associate's degree. So there's a high need for medical assistants in our area, and so it's a high demand job, and it's offered on 2 campuses. So our medical assisting program is available in both Harnett and in Chatham, and then students can choose whether they want to do a 1-year program or 2 years.
CCCC's healthcare curriculum also includes health information technology, healthcare management technology, and medical sonography, and more. Can you share with our audience information about some of these programs?
Okay, So you have said a mouthful, RV. So those are all some great programs. So I'm going to start with health information technology because that's one of our programs that I think is very unique and much needed. And so a fun fact that a lot of people don't know is that program is completely online. And so in that program, you can also get as little as, if you want to call it little, you can start with a certificate and go all the way up to associate's degree completely online. And so that is a great program. And then over with healthcare management technology, that's another one. When you think of healthcare management technology, I think of the administrative side. And so versus the health information technology side, it's like electronic health records. It includes medical coding and billing. And on the other side of it, with health management technology, they're managing all of that. So they could also be managers at facilities or administrators. Medical sonography, you don't know this, but when you have babies, most women have had ultrasound. So that's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of medical sonography. However, you can use ultrasound and Doppler technology to also do sonographies on other parts of the body. And so a lot of people are more familiar with the OB side of it. And before COVID, they actually had the opportunity to bring in expectant mothers that were willing and volunteering to come in and use them, or not use them, help allow them to participate as live patients so that the students could get that live, non-invasive experience.
Well, thank you. And we will return to 4C Visions after these messages.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Whether it be sports, music, or art, we're all good at different things. But when it comes to texting and driving, no one's good at that.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to 4C Visions. Our guests today are Denise Martin, Dean of CCCC Health Sciences and Human Services, and Consuela Blaizes, who is CCCC Associate Dean of Health Sciences and Human Services. Denise, one of the programs in which you are involved is the Human Services Technology Program. What is that program all about?
So our Human Services Technology Program is slightly different from our most of our health sciences program because this is where we hit into the human services side of our division. A lot of people think of human services, and some of the popular careers that fall into this area are things like social workers and caseworkers. But the Human Services Technology Program trains students to help others. It's a very broad job. Again, there's a lot of demand for this. One of of the concentrations in this program is to be a substance abuse counselor. So this program is for people that really want, or for students that really want to help people. We have human services works in issues such as homelessness, finding employment, getting food for your family, substance abuse. So there's a lot of different areas. A lot of our students work for charities and nonprofit organizations that help people, individuals, and families. So if you are a student that's wanting to do a job where you help people, but maybe you don't want to do the nursing side, and you really want to be more helping people with their lives, this human services technology, that's what students learn to do, and that's how they contribute back to society. Is they are our helpers. They connect people with resources, and also some students go on to be counselors, go on to be social workers. So there's also a good starting point if you're not sure what you want to do, because you can transfer from an associate's degree to a university to go on to many other different careers if you want to go into counseling or social work.
Denise, we've talked about a lot of programs here today thus far. It must be especially gratifying to see these students come through our program and be so involved in health, fitness, wellness, especially in these times of a pandemic. What is that like for you to see the successes of our students and what they've accomplished?
It is just amazing. Each year when we have graduations, typically in May, it's one of my favorite days of the year where we can see the success of students. But when the pandemic hit, it affected not only our faculty, but our students in such unique ways. And I have never been more impressed with the determination and the grit that our students have shown to come to class. Many students had to transition very quickly from seated in-person classes to online classes. And many of our students, obviously in health sciences, we are hands-on professions. There's a lot that students cannot do virtually and online. So we have modified a lot of our classes to be hybrid, where they'll do part of their learning online, but they still have to come to campus for labs, and they still have to go to clinicals to learn the skills that they need. But our students have just shown the most amazing resilience. Almost all of us have been impacted by COVID in some way, either becoming sick or having a loved one sick, or even losing people that were close to us. And so our students have continued to show up, as have our faculty, and just showing what amazing professionals that they're going to be coming into the healthcare and human services professions while learning during a pandemic. It's just so awesome to see these students and their dedication to their professions, despite so many challenges that they've faced.
And Consuela, I know that you are actively involved in our nursing program. And I know you've heard of so many cases of our former students that you are well aware have been on the front lines of the pandemic. What do you hear from former students, and what has that been like for you to have been involved in the training of those folks to help our people in these times?
Okay. So first, I want to start with, as you said, I was in nursing prior to my current role, and I'm very proud that we had a cohort in ADN to come through COVID and learn through COVID and have 100% pass rate. And then we had a cohort with the PN to come through COVID, learn through COVID, with lack of clinical, might I add, lack of on-site clinical. We had to do some on-campus simulation, but they had a 97% pass rate. And so that warms my heart. It's almost like they're our children, because they spend so much time with us. And it's almost like seeing your children grow up and go out there in the field and prosper. And they look back and they reach back out to us after the fact, and they say, thank you for telling us everything and for getting us prepared. When they're in nursing school, it's a love-hate relationship. But when they get out and reach back to us and say, thank you, we appreciate it, y'all are the best, we learn from you, it really does make you feel like you have done the world's good. And to know that there's another little minion out there that came from Central Carolina that represents our nursing programs.
Well, CCCC is blessed to have some outstanding physical facilities for your programs, including the Keller Health Sciences Center on the Lee main campus, the Harnett Health Sciences Center in Harnett County, and the newer Chatham Health Sciences Center in Chatham County. These new and modern facilities must be a great advantage for our students and the citizens in our service area.
They are, and on top of the new buildings, we always aim at getting the top of the line equipment because, as you know, healthcare is ever changing. And so with COVID, we have ensured that we have extra equipment to promote social distancing and still enhance student learning. One of the big things that's up and coming that's exciting for me is actually for emergency medical services out at the Chatham Health Science Building. They're going to be getting a simulation truck or truck body, I guess you could say, that will be in a classroom per se that will simulate the back of an ambulance. And for me, that's a big benefit for those students because you don't always have access to an ambulance. You know, it's easy to simulate hospitals and labs, but an ambulance might be a little bit more difficult. So I'm excited about that. So I said all that to say is in these new buildings, we work really hard at keeping all of our equipment up to date. We have I consider top of the class simulation lab at Lee main campus in the Keller Health Science Building. And then we also have a simulation lab here at the Harnett Health Science Building as well.
Well, we are blessed to have such great facilities for sure. Obviously, healthcare is extremely important in today's world. It must please both of you to see the importance that CCCC places on training healthcare workers for the future. What are job opportunities like for our healthcare graduates?
Right now, historically, we have more people retiring from healthcare professions than we have new students entering. And we're also facing a population that's aging and living longer than ever before, which is great. But what that means is that there's a huge need for healthcare professionals across the board. Every profession is growing. Every profession has open jobs available now, and they're predicted to grow and increase. And for some professions, we're not training enough students to make up for the professions that have people that are leaving the profession and retiring. So now is the best time more than ever to get involved in a healthcare program. Basically unlimited job potential. A lot of companies are looking for other jobs. So if you want to work in a hospital and, stay close to home, all of our community hospitals are hiring. There are major hospitals and universities in big cities that you could work if you've ever dreamed of traveling and, living in a big city. Also, a very popular job right now is called a traveling professional. So almost all of our industries have traveling nurses, traveling sonographers, traveling hygienists. So if you really want to get out and see the world, that's becoming very popular now, where you can work for a company that will send you all over the country and even outside of the country. They'll pay for your travel while you work, so you get to work in different cultures and different states and areas of the country and see and experience things that you might not have ever seen, especially if you come from a small town. So maybe from one of our counties, we have a rural county, and sometimes students might not have been able to travel much, but that's also one of the benefits is you can work in healthcare literally anywhere in the world. So we are looking at a worldwide shortage of healthcare professionals. So anywhere you go, unfortunately, people will always be sick and they will need caring professionals. Also, there will always be animals that need care anywhere in the world. So our programs are so unique because you can take the skills that you learned in our programs and literally go across the whole world to work and to serve, in any area that is important to you. And I think that's one of the most amazing things about our program is the sky is the limit. So whether you want to stay close to home or you want to see the world, you can get your education here at Central Carolina and go on to have an amazing career.
Well, those opportunities are certainly exciting, especially if you are willing to travel, but there's a lot of home opportunities as well. So that's outstanding. We've talked about curriculum healthcare programs, but we know there are opportunities for short-term healthcare training programs such as nurse aid, pharmacy tech. Tell us a little bit about those.
Okay. So as you said, we do have plenty of medical programs here at Central Carolina that are short-term trainings. There's cardiovascular monitor tech, and when that job or that course could lead to a job working on a telemetry unit, reading the cardiac strips for the nurses. We have phlebotomy. Phlebotomy is drawing blood. That's what people know that as. The big one, nurse aid. So we have nurse aid 1, nurse aid 2. Nurse aid 2 allows the nurse aid 1 to do a little bit more advanced skills, and they also get an increase in pay. We have massage therapy. Everybody loves a massage. The plus of our massage program is we will actually schedule sessions. Usually at the end of the course, they schedule sessions and open those sessions to the public. And I want to say they are hour-long sessions. So we also have pharmacy technician. Pharmacy technician is the important person besides the pharmacist in the lab, but you know, there's always a middleman that does like the hard labor. And so pharmacy tech is the one that will make sure you are getting the correct medication and the correct count of medication that the pharmacist signs off on. So we do offer that program. We are up and coming on what used to be known as physical therapy aid. We are changing the terminology on that to be rehabilitation aid, and that will aid a student to be able to work as a rehabilitation aid and or go into our physical therapy assistant program. What else? I'm trying to remember them all. We have medical billing and coding, which they can feed into HIT with that one. And we are adding, I almost forgot this one, we are adding a medication aid course. Medication aids are generally hired in long-term care, and they will pass meds just like an LPN would do in long-term care, but the facilities can pay them a little bit less than an LPN, so a lot of times they will hire a med aid.
So as our viewers can see, there are a variety of programs offered here at Central Carolina Community College, both long-term and short-term training. If you're interested in a healthcare field training, Central Carolina is an outstanding place to look toward for that education. In closing, what advice would you recommend for our viewers who may be interested in one of these programs, especially those more popular programs that fill up in a hurry?
So my best advice for students is if you're even thinking about working in one of our health or science professions is to talk to our admissions counselors. We have a team of dedicated admissions counselors. Some of them specialize in our health science programs, and they know everything about how to get a seat in one of our programs. So even in our competitive programs like nursing or dental, our admission specialists know how to advise students on what courses you need to take, the best courses to take to make you the most competitive. All of our competitive programs have what we call a rating sheet. And that rating sheet is basically a point-based system that helps us to determine the how students are ranked when we're considering the seats for the next cohort of students. And our admission specialists can advise students exactly what to do to get the most points to get the best chance at getting into one of our programs. There's a lot of things outside of just general education classes that you can take while you're getting ready to go into the program. There's things like observation hours and work if you work in the industry already. So there's a lot of little things that our admissions specialists know about. So I strongly advise anyone that's even considering is to talk to one of our admissions specialists to get a plan in place. And you can, transfer in credits from other colleges. So no matter where you might have gotten other college credit or where you went to high school, all of that can be transferred in to get your degree here at Central Carolina.
So to learn more about Central Carolina Community College and all of its programs, visit our website at www.cccc.edu. Well, thank you, Denise and Consuela, and thank you, viewers, for being with us today on 4C Visions.
Thank you, RP.
Thank you, RV. And for any potential students out there, all I can say is good luck as you're choosing what program. Any one of our programs is so much in need for our immediate community and in anywhere in the world. And I hope that I see you in class someday.